never don't care, we cannot falter in the battle, we're tried and true. Indiana, we're all.
Welcome everybody to the Indiana basketball. Steve's got an eye booger. It's still early in LA.
Yeah.
But the Indiana basketball show, I'm Mike Goodpaster. He's Steve Risley. The Indiana Hoosiers beat the Ohio State Buckeyes. Didn't play great. Were trailing most of the game, but they toughed it out at the end. Pulled the game off 66-60. The 2 threes by Trey Galloway were huge, Steve. And the defense really locked Ohio State up the last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, first the important stuff. Waiting for 10 o'clock to come around, which is right now. We're going to find out if the Menendez brothers are going to get out of prison or not.
Well, they should.
No, they shouldn't.
Well, they were beaten by their parents. That's why they.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were. Just go ahead, Steve. I don't know.
They were beaten to the bank, so their parents cut them off financially. Their parents, so they got pissed.
Well, you shouldn't cut your kids off.
All right. Yeah, in regard to your opening statement, I will take a crappy win over a great loss.
I didn't say it was a crappy win.
Well, you said they didn't play well.
Well, they didn't play great, but they won the game.
They won the game. Well, I'll take that. I'll take a win not playing well as opposed to playing great and losing, as they did against Oregon. So, right now the whole moniker for this basketball team is keep winning, baby. Just keep winning, because this is a team that's borderline at best and getting into the big dance. And they got to keep winning basketball games as long as they possibly can. They did that. They did play well against Oregon at Oregon on a West Coast road swing. So Indiana's hitting on enough cylinders right now that they're controlling their own destiny to a degree as to get in the tournament. How great for Trey Galloway to hit those 2 big 3-pointers. Puts him right at the 1,000-point mark, something I never achieved in Indiana. Of course, I didn't have 139 games and 6 seasons to do that either. So, but that's still a great.
This is just like the Kyle Guy crap again, Steve. Give it up. He's 4,000 points. I mean, did you make it to the 500-point club? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got top 500 points. I got that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look my stats up.
All right, I will.
Look them up real quick. Come on.
Robert Stewart, from Vero. How you doing, Robert? I got to look up Steve Risley stats. Every time I do that, I just feel bad.
Why? I got a national championship ring and you don't.
I've got a national championship ring.
Yeah, for arena indoor football.
No, I also have it for high school football, and there was like 3,000 teams in that. How many basketball teams were in your tournament, homie?
Let's see. 48. It means we eliminated. It means that you wouldn't have been in our tournament.
Well, yeah, we were a football team, Steve.
Well, not if we're only 48 from 3,000.
Steve, damn.
How many points did I have?
Steve,
I mean,
you brought this on yourself, Steve. That's all I'll say. You brought it on yourself. I don't even want to say how many points you had.
No, how many?
Because that'll say everything says points, but you averaged 4.4 points per game for 118 games, so you didn't quite make it to 500 points.
That's not the stats I have.
Okay. Yeah, but your stats were given to you by your mom. All right.
No. How many points did I have?
I didn't give a total point stat. It gave 4.4 for 118 games.
Well, hang on. I got a calculator right here.
Yeah, 118.
4.4 times 118 equals 519 points. That's what I said, 516 points.
All right, so you barely topped the 500 points.
Oh, I did.
You just trailed Chuck Franz.
Yeah, and I had Mike Woodson, Ray Tolbert, Isaiah Thomas, Randy Whitman, Ted Kitchell, a lot of shooters.
You were the one guy that they weren't guarding, Steve.
What?
You were the one guy that wasn't being guarded, probably.
Hey, I scored the first bucket of the game for us in a national championship game and the last point of the game for us.
And you also were the last person to miss a shot for IU in that game because you missed a free throw on the one-on-one.
I was told to miss it intentionally to get the clock running.
Yeah, you weren't. So the clock was going to run either way, Steve, because if it goes through, they throw it in and it runs.
No, they didn't want him. They didn't want him a chance to organize and get a play set up out of bounds
To score 13 points to tie the game in that last 3 seconds.
I saw Reggie Miller score 13 points in about 9 seconds.
You didn't. You saw him score 9 and 8 seconds. But I mean, so when we look at this game, I think it was an afternoon to forget offensively for Indiana basketball. They shot just 35% from the field, 25% from three-point range, and never got into rhythm for a sustained period of time. And basically, they toughed the game out at the end. And Steve, really, I would love to play great and blow a team out, but it says a lot when you're not playing your best and you can get through and do it. The only thing that concerns me here is Ohio State is one of the few teams that I think may be more poorly coached than Indiana. And because I think this Ohio State team, much like Indiana, should not be struggling to get in a tournament because there's a fair amount of talent on that team. And Bruce Thornton is one of the best point guards in college basketball, definitely in the Big Ten. But Indiana shut down Thornton and John Mobley. You had the senior wing, Micah Parrish, led the Buckeyes with 19 points, which was a game high. IU didn't have an answer for him, but he had an answer for everything else. Thornton was held to 2 of 10 in 35 minutes. Mobley was 3 of 11. When you do that to this team, they have no chance to win the game. And IU won the free throw margin. So everything that you need to win the game, they did come through. I mean, they outshot them at the free throw line. They played better defense, and they took their best 2 players away.
Yeah, I remember I watched this game on Saturday, and at the end of the game, I looked at it, and I'm like, did we just win that game? How the hell did we win that game? I mean, and I don't mean we weren't glaringly bad. We just weren't glaringly good either. And given the fact that both teams were fighting for a playoff spot or a potential tournament bid, I mean, I agree. We did the things we needed to do to what we call, as you all well know, winning ugly. We won ugly. But like I said, this time of year, stats don't mean that much. All the glorious stats you read off are great, but the fact is we shot poorly from the three-point range, shot poorly from the free throw line.
Shot poorly from everywhere.
Everywhere, but yet we still found a way to grind it out and win the game. I thought the players played well together. They seem to want to share the ball. They seem to want to get the job done as opposed to get individual recognition. I don't know. Maybe Mike's finally got a wrangle around this team, pulling them together. Doesn't. Maybe we should give Mike another season.
I hope you're kidding.
I don't ever kid about Mike.
That's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Robert Stewart said Ohio State was ugly, but IU found a way to win. It was good to see. Yes, it was good to see that OSU was ugly so we could get a win. All I know is this, Steve. The Oregon game was the worst coach game Mike Woodson's ever had, especially the last 10 minutes. It was a game Indiana should have won.
Yeah, we blew some. We used timeouts in the last 2 minutes. We missed timeouts. We missed calls. We missed setting up good plays to get plays on the out of bounds. We were like in a fog coaching wise at the end of the Oregon game, which I thought, that we ended up losing that game by 8-9 points.
Yeah, something like that.
But it wasn't that big of a spread. It was a tight game all the way.
Except for the last minute.
Except for the last minute when I thought we just flat out got out coached in the last minute of the game because the players had performed well the entire game against Oregon. And when we needed critical thinking at the end, we couldn't get the critical thinking we needed.
So you would like to have that back for another year?
Mike, I was being a little bit facetious.
No, you can't be facetious with me because, I'm slow sometimes.
No, I don't think it would behoove us to bring back the coaching staff at this point in time. And I think Mike was probably more joking when he said that.
Mike wasn't joking.
I don't know. I did not see him make that comment, but
I did
read about it, and I heard read about it that he had said that he thought maybe he retired too early or left too early. But
I think that he came out of retirement too early.
I think it's time for Indiana to go ahead and make its move and move on and try again. I mean, just try. We've tried how many times since 2002? We've tried and unfortunately for Mike, it's an experiment. I think we all wanted to work. Mike was beloved. He is beloved. It just, Mike was thrown into a lion's pit and not prepared to tame lions. And it was tough. And I just taught me how naive it is for me to think, oh, hell, I could coach that team. Coaching at that level is a very, very difficult thing to do.
Dude, coaching at any level is difficult to do.
Yeah, Mike is not a basketball idiot. I think he was a basketball novice at that level, and I know he coached in the NBA, but the NBA is an entirely it's like driving a Yugo versus driving a Ferrari. You're driving, yeah, you're in a car, you're going somewhere on four wheels, but the methodology by which you're doing it is completely different, and that's the NBA to college basketball. And it would have been nice to see either Mike shore up his assistant coaching staff with heavily sedated college coaching people that have been in the game.
You want them sedated?
It's a poor choice of words, but the word I was trying to get at is invested and infatuated, not infatuated. I wanted them to know a lot about college basketball. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but they're
not a wordsmith at 10 o'clock in the morning in Los Angeles.
How about this, Steve? If
we got fires in New York, we're worried.
Why are you worried about fires in New York?
Because they'll probably come to LA again.
Probably, because y'all ain't smart enough to figure out how to not have fires. So, Indiana, the road in the Big Ten tournament will start off for Indiana on Thursday. And I want to remind everybody that tomorrow we will have a Big Ten tournament preview and prediction show. Me and Riz will discuss each game. We'll make our predictions for each game. Risley will pick Indiana to win it all, and then I'll make the correct pick, just like last year and the year before.
Let me address Troika here.
Who? Hold on. Let's find it.
But Woody was given Mata and Fife to help him adjust to coaching. Agreed, and that's one of the novice things about Woody. He turned down good help because he thought he
got rid of Fife. He got rid of Fife, and then Mata left.
Fife would have been smart as hell to keep on his staff. Fife came from Izzo, from a very successful college program, was somebody who was endeared and beloved to Indiana, loved the university. Mata, is a very good college coach. He's struggling at Butler a little bit, but we're still trying to measure everything by Brad Stevens, which is tough to do at a place. But
you can measure.
Yeah, I agree with Troika. He got rid of Mata and Fife, which was the first fatal mistake he made, I think, in coaching. He should have kept those two on staff, but he thought he could do it his way, and that's unfortunate. That's just one of the novice mistakes that Mike made that was his demise. Mike Woodson is not a bad person. Mike Woodson's a great man,
but he's a
family
coach.
Man. He's been married for a lot of years. He raised two great daughters. He loves Indiana University. He stayed close to Indiana. He's come back and talked to former players or current players at any time. He was Coach Knight's, close friend, spent time with Coach. And there's nothing bad about Mike Woodson.
There is.
He just
coaching. He
made rookie coaching mistakes. And you can't make rookie coaching mistakes at a place like Indiana.
No, when you're almost 70. No, it just goes to tell you that he never could coach. Robert Stewart says not too difficult to see playing two bigs for half a season and digging the hole we're in. Now he has finally woken up. The thing that surprised me about Mac is, Mac was actually in the closeout lineup in the last minute or two, and he actually hustled one time. That was impressive. Braylon Gardner,
I don't know what happened to Mac. McKenzie,
he's never been able to play defense.
But he was just twice the player he was at the beginning of the season as he is now. I don't know what's happened to him.
Put it like this, I think he's one of the players that's probably not real happy with Woody, because Woody did start benching him the way he should have done.
Yeah, and I think
Mbako did not take it well.
When the season started, Makembo was NBA material. By voice, he was NBA material. He's a prototype body for the NBA.
He's a very good actor. He can throw himself on the ground. I mean, that's what you need to play at the NBA anymore.
Well, you are just a negative ninny all the time.
That's not negative. The NBA is a joke.
You see every glass you look at is half empty.
Yes, I do, Steve, because that is the best way to never be disappointed.
Man, I'll tell you what, you can never enjoy euphoria if you're never disappointed.
What's euphoria?
Euphoria is the ultimate happiness.
I have that. Because I understand.
You've never been disappointed, you haven't.
No, see, I've never been disappointed because I expect to be disappointed. So everything works out better. Balin Gardner, good day, gentlemen. God bless you both. And go IU, beat the Ducks. And
so right now, back to Indiana. Thank you, Balin.
You interrupted me. Go ahead.
Well, let's get back to the game. I got a car wash to get to.
I was going to look at the Oregon game because the Ohio State game is what it is. And at noon on Thursday in, what is it, Gamebridge is where they play in this, or Lucas Oil?
They'll play at Gamebridge, I believe.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
So what we'll have is the Indiana Hoosiers in a rematch of the game they lost last Tuesday, was it, against the Oregon Ducks, in a game they had a chance to win at the end. In the Oregon game, I'm sorry, guys. I know everybody thinks we're in. We're not yet. And they're going to face a really good Oregon team who's red hot. Oregon is ranked at the top 25 again. They had a 5-game losing streak, I think, from like the third week of January to the first or second week of February. It was the program's longest losing streak in, I think it was like 15 years. And those struggles threaten to overshadow a quality non-conference schedule where they beat Texas A&M, they beat Alabama. This team's capable of beating anybody when they're playing well. And now they are again. They've won 7 straight games, and they avoided being a bubble team like we are with those 7 straight wins. And the thing that scares me the most here, Steve, is you talk about great coaches can coach in the tournament. Dana Altman, Oregon beat Washington 80-73. It was Dana Altman's 75th win in March since Altman took over in 2011. That is more wins in March than North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky, and Duke all have. He has a 71% win percentage. He's reached the Sweet 16 in the NCAA tournament 5 times. He's won 4 Pac-12 conference tournaments, including last year when he had a team that was not supposed to be a tournament team. They went in as the number 4 seed, won the Pac-12 tournament, advanced to the NCAA tournament, and then upset, I think it was a 5 seed, South Carolina, when they were the 12 seed. So the scary thing here to me is we talked about how bad Woody was in that Oregon game and how good Altman was. Now it's tournament time, Steve.
Yeah, and Altman certainly shines at that point in time. I wonder if Altman would like West Lafayette.
Why would you want him there?
Because all Purdue needs really to succeed is a coach that can coach in March.
I'd rather have Altman just come to Bloomington, Steve.
Well, I'll take Painter.
I wouldn't want Painter.
No, really, I like Matt. Matt's a good guy.
Yeah, that's great for him. So's Woody. How'd that work?
All right. Let me throw, and this is something you brought up, and I thought it was a great point for you. I'm giving you kudos now.
Everything I say is usually
one time in 9 years. You gave me kudos a couple weeks ago.
That's because only one time in 9 years.
I know. Okay, I take that. You brought up a really good point. Tell me about the West Coast, East Coast travel, game time, everything for Oregon. How will that play to Oregon, against them, for them?
I will tell you,
Steve.
Talk about that. Steve, I will tell you this. You're not going to like what I say compared to what I said the other day, because the issue is Dana Altman. He is a tournament-ready coach, and I am sure he will have no trouble getting his team adjusted. I said the only advantage I saw here was maybe playing at noon, maybe catch him off guard a little bit. But once again, with Altman there, I expect this team to be completely prepared when they play Indiana. But it is some small thing that we can grab onto.
So given the fact that noon
it's 9 o'clock.
Indy time is 9 o'clock LA time.
Yeah, people just got to look at what
I'm
you
telling
look like
you what,
when we start
Mike,
this
if
show.
I can do this show at 3 o'clock Indy time at noon, I'd be so much freaking better. It'd be unbelievable. It's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock out here. I'm just rolling out of bed. I'm retired. Okay, I was up watching Lioness until 4 in the morning. That's a great series if you haven't seen it. Lioness. Oh my.
What's that about?
Special ops. It's a really, basically they take these sexy chicks and infiltrate them into this last one was Colombian drug lords.
Oh, and I bet those chicks are tough and take down to drug lords, right?
Oh, they do everything. They fly helicopters.
I don't like fantasy shows.
It's not fantasy.
It's a fantasy show.
I believe this organization, the Linus program, really exists. Not in its form as it's on television. But you know what? We don't know what we don't know about our government and its special ops.
Well, I would say this. If you've got a group of women in your special ops.
No. It's not a group of women. It's one woman.
Oh, okay. And she is in charge?
I will tell you this right now. After watching this show, I would think in the ranking of top 10 military units we have, the Navy SEAL Team 6, probably 7 or 8. I think there's 5 or 6 teams out there that we don't even know about that just would obliterate Navy SEALs because they have no rules. They kill anybody they want to kill. They do whatever they need. They're run by the CIA.
Oh, so they're like politicians. All right.
There you go. Glorioka Lioness, great show. And Zoe does look great. Zoe Saldana. You got to see it just for Zoe Saldana.
I don't know who that is.
Should I bring up? Sheridan. It's Taylor Sheridan. It's the same guy that did Yellowstone.
Yeah. 1823, 1923, 1944, 1966, 1942. Yeah, all of those shows.
Hey, they're good shows, man.
Oh, we have a question from P-Ball. And P-Ball's question is, I like Shaka Smart. What do you think about him, Steve?
I'll defer to you.
I would say this. He's done a great job at Marquette. The Marquette St. John's game over the weekend was one of the best games you'll see all weekend. Or all year. So was Alabama Auburn. I would say the knocks on him, of course, and those were the knocks when Marquette hired him. A lot of Marquette fans were mad because of the inconsistent success he had at Texas. You know, he went to Texas and there was high expectations and he failed. That has to worry you a little bit. He coaches at a big-time conference. You know, he's getting to play against UConn, St. John's, Creighton, Xavier. I mean, it's a solid league in the Big East. I think it's down this year compared to what it has been. I'm not huge on Shaka Smart. Let's just put it like that. So
I defer to you. Yeah, I mean,
and Balin.
All I think about when I think of Marquette is Tom Crean. So.
And Balin thinks in the service I met some badass Rangers.
No, everybody. I'm not knocking the Rangers or the.
Well, hell, they won the World Series 2 years ago.
I'm just saying the Rangers in SEAL Team 6, because they're publicly known, have to live by a set of rules. The Lioness program, nobody knows they exist, so they do what they want to do. If they want to kill you, you're dead. And they walk away from it, and the CIA covers it up.
Well, yeah, that's what the CIA always does. That's what happened to Kennedy and, Martin Luther King. And
so, I'm not knocking the Rangers, the SEALs.
I think he was, Balin.
I just think that they are the best we publicly know about.
Don't worry, Steve. Balin wasn't a Ranger. He's not going to come to LA and find you and make you pay for that comment.
No doubt. No doubt at all.
Well, he may. I don't know. But so let's get back to Oregon. What do you think of the keys to beat Oregon? Because I think Oregon's a bad matchup for Indiana.
I think that keep doing what we've been doing. I know it's an easy cop-out answer, but what I'm saying is keep the lineup pretty relegated to the same. I like the way Indiana's going, and we keep Renew on the bench to start with. Bringing Renew in is like having an extra starting 6 men, truthfully. I mean, he's probably the most talented player on the team. You bring him in off the bench. You don't lose a damn thing. You gain by bringing him in. and you're dealing with a team like Oregon or Ohio State or anybody that's a little bit tired now, gotten a little winded, run up and down the court, and you get this kid in there, and then you pull Ballo out, you give Ballo a rest. Ballo seems to be more effective. I saw Ballo play with more enthusiasm and hustle the last 2 games, and I've seen him pretty well play all season. He actually acted like they cared.
And Balin said he knows you have good intentions, Steve.
No, I do. I love our country. Every one of my golf bags has an American flag on it.
God.
I fly an American flag.
Yes, I know. It's awesome.
I've got an American flag framed and above my mantle. I love this country.
I know, and you're all for going out and killing everybody.
I heard the new Canadian Prime Minister talking about, if this was hockey, we'd beat the USA. All right, you won one freaking little game,
They beat us
by my ass.
Hey, you know what? All I know is 58, 59 American cities have won Super Bowls. Canada's never won a Super Bowl.
No, they haven't.
And they've only won, I think, 2 World Series. The 2 Blue Jays got back-to-back. Robert Stewart says we're going to beat I assume he means Oregon, because I think we're going to beat. Robert, can you explain to me, just in a short little written one, how we're going to beat Oregon? Because my issue I have is Oregon can shoot the crap out of the 3. They got big dudes underneath that can play a little bit of defense at least to hold us up. And I really worry about this game. Indian Creek Walker. Happening people. Well, I think it means what's happening, people. But that's a cool-ass name, and I just wanted to say it. So thanks for chiming in, Indian Creek Walker.
It's Indiana Creek. Are you blind?
Yeah, I am. I don't wear my glasses because people think I'm old like you.
Nothing wrong with this, baby.
Yeah, there is. You're a 4 eyes now.
God,
people can make
darn, these things blur me and make you look better?
Well,
holy cow, you're almost good looking.
I am.
No, back to reality.
No, it's reality, Steve. It's a curse that I've lived with my whole life. And sometimes it's a tough cross to bear, but it's just what it is. I just got another. Has anybody? I got to bring this up real quick. Does anybody else get final warning for unpaid tolls?
Yes, those are fake. I got those.
I know they're fake too. Here we go. Indiana Creek Walker.
I don't go through tolls, but my son, I'm co-owner of my son's car, and he gets them, and we've researched it. Do ignore it, delete it. It is a scam. They're trying to get money from you. They want your credit card. We contacted the California Department of Highways, said that they do not send text messages out or emails out to collect tolls. You will get a letter in the mail from the toll roads group, whatever it is, the California Department of Highway, in my case, Indiana Department, or wherever you are, but do not pay those. Take them, throw them away. Use them as toilet paper if you're on Bear Grylls, running with the Bears, anything, but do not pay those. Do not give them your credit card number or information.
All right, so can I call Indiana Creek Walker Indian Creek Walker still? Because that's cool. But he says, we will have the crowd. We will have something to play for. I don't think Oregon has as much to play for.
I don't think that matters.
It's a tournament game. They want to win a Big Ten championship.
It doesn't matter. If they're well coached, that'll be all taken out right away. All you have to do is jump on Indiana, and the Indiana fans will be leaving or going to St. Elmo's for shrimp cocktail and getting out of there and heading to the door and waiting for next year right now. I'll tell you, Indiana fans right now, probably they're all in right now, but the first sign of a screw up, they got 1 foot out the door.
The saddest thing about that game on Saturday was the fact that all of these senior speeches, except for Anthony and Leal, were recorded. And they basically, when they played the recording, all the jerseys were framed and on the court, but the players were not out there because of last year when they had some issues with some fans booing.
Really?
You didn't know that?
Well, we don't get it in California. I
mean, this is the thing. I don't get it either, but you can usually find like one of the sites or on YouTube, they'll have the entire senior day presentation.
They did tapes.
everybody recorded their conversation and gave it just because the Indiana fans were morons.
Oh, how sad!
Yeah, because that
was one of the highlights of my 4 years in Indiana. I was scared to death when I had to get up in front of 17 and to talk like that, and all I said was, "Knight can kiss my ass" or something like that. Yeah. I'm not there anymore. And then here we go. We play another 5 games with him.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're shaking. That is one of the greatest moments of an IU basketball player.
And it should be for the fans too.
It should be.
And last year,
fans cheered me, and I'm like, I felt like for 2 minutes I was the reason we were there, and it was that way for everybody. I mean, Kirshner, Eisenbarger, myself, and Ray. I think we're the seniors that year, and man, they treated.
Indiana Creek Walker also says that it was ridiculous, but the reason they did it was because of last year was the fans booed. Now, this is what I think. This is the fans' fault, but
no, it's not.
It is. Why would you boo a kid on senior day?
Well, yeah.
And I mean, the thing is this: I'll sit here and I'll bitch about them, but if I'm going to go to the game and I'm going to sit in the stands, I'm not going there to boo everybody and be a general pain in the ass. I'll just wait until I get back home and me and you talk about it. So why you don't want to disrespect anybody in a situation like that. But still, Indiana University and Mike Woodson should have been speaking at the end of that. Nobody is going to boo the man after they beat Ohio State. Now, I can see maybe we record it, and if we lose to Ohio State, maybe we'll just play the recordings. But you won the game. Go out and talk.
Man, Knight talked about it. He introduced every one of us and had something nice to say.
And it didn't matter if you won or lost either.
No, I think we won our last game. I'm sure we did. Yeah. We did. We were in the middle of a 10-game winning streak. So I don't even know who we played final game. I think probably Ohio State. I'd have to look it up.
Ohio State in 1980. I don't know if it was an 81. I think it might have been an 81, but
it would have been an 81. Yeah. What was our schedule in 81? Who was our last game?
I'll find out.
Was it Ohio State? I don't remember.
I'll find out. You got to give me time to look, Steve.
All right. Oh, you're quicker at that than I am. I don't even know who we played.
You never do. You always know after I tell you what you did, though.
Well,
it's all right as long as you know. Trying to find the schedule right now. Here we go.
That breaks my heart. I did not know that.
Well, you played Michigan State at Michigan State. You played Illinois. So actually, you had 2 games after senior night on the road. Your last home game was a 98-83 win over the Michigan Wolverines.
Okay, and then we won. We won the last 2 road games too, didn't we?
Yeah, because you had a winning streak going into the tournament, I think.
Yeah. I think Iowa was the last team to beat us that year, weren't they?
Yes, they were. Iowa beat you guys at Carver Hawkeye Arena 78-65.
Yeah. It wasn't that close.
Yeah, Purdue beat you 68-66. So after the loss to Iowa, you guys were 16-9. Then you won your last 5 regular season games and then the 5 tournament games. Sylvester
Stallone. Yeah, that's a tremendous letdown that they didn't let the players. That's a rite of passage. I mean, that's of all my time at IU and all the things that happened, that speech and getting up and all the current players were out there. I mean, Isaiah, was out there. Woody and a lot of the guys were in the stands. I mean, it was a family that, God darn, I can't believe they taped it and put it on the screen.
Because I didn't even watch it then. I'm not interested in that. I want to see the emotion when they talk.
That's just...
It's a cop-out by Mike Woodson in Indiana basketball.
Well, it's a cop-out by Scott Dawson, too. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he's the one that hired
guys. That's PR, covering your ass. I mean, the people would not have booed after a win like that. Somebody should have made a spot call and say, hey, we won. You guys get up there and talk.
And those kids are like, huh? All right. P-Ball says, watch the Braylon Mullins. That's this stud high school player in Indiana this weekend. I know he's a good player, but half of his points came off cherry picking. No wonder he averages over 30 points a game. Yes, and they lost in double overtime. So there you go, Braylon Mullins. Troika.
I don't think I even want to talk recruiting until we find out who we're
Troika
going to
says, getting back to the Lioness, would Steve be willing to take orders from Nicole Kidman?
Yes, in every single way.
She's ugly.
No, she's not.
She is. She's also old like you.
Okay.
But she's ugly.
I think Keith Urban's a very lucky man.
She got red hair.
That's okay.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's not.
I would
okay.
have no problem taking orders from Nicole Kidman, a Nicole Kidman type character. I do not think women are inferior in military. So
you don't?
I don't want them in foxholes and things like that, but I don't think they can. I think they can make every decision a male brain can.
No, they can't.
In military situations.
No, they can't. They're not wired the same way as men. That's like saying that a woman should be an NFL head football coach.
God,
They're
you
not
must live
wired
in Brookville, Indiana, or something.
I don't live in Brookville, Indiana, Steve.
Somewhere down there, Aurora, Indiana.
I don't live in Aurora, Indiana, Steve. You're getting closer, though. It's only been a decade.
It's not Batesville.
It's not Batesville. Now, I don't have enough money to live in Batesville.
Batesville's too big a city for you.
Yeah, I mean, they've got, a Walmart, and
they've got the preeminent casket company in the world.
They've also got a really good Dairy Queen.
No, I know. I've been to that Dairy Queen.
I used to go there a lot when I used to go to Batesville, and they got a nice YMCA.
Every time we go to a Colts Bengals game, we stop at that Dairy Queen. I could tell you some really bad stories about our experience. By the time we got to that Dairy Queen, we were in our second bottle of vodka. And I was not driving, thank God, but I don't know who the hell was. But they did not have drive-up bathrooms. I'll leave it at that.
You just got to take a wide mouth cup, so you just pee while you drive.
Tell you another story about that someday too.
Tell me one.
Now,
right
were we
now.
talking basketball at all, or
just tell me the more interesting story about being on the road.
No, not right now. We got
because I can tell you one too.
If after our final show of the year, remind me, and I'll tell you my big.
Look at that! It looks like I would turn my phone off. I thought I did, but my little I don't have any nails. I will tell you this: the Oregon
is Indiana ready to play and move forward in the Big Ten tournament? Do you think they're playing well enough they can get at least 2 games into the tournament? Meaning win one, lose one. I mean, they got to face if they beat Oregon, which is a big if, because Oregon's going to come loaded for bear.
I can tell you my reason, Robert.
They got to go to Michigan State.
I'm going to tell you why Oregon wins this game. And it is 4 words. Two of them are Dana Altman. He's a clutch basketball coach. The other 2 words are Jackson Shellstad. And he has, the only thing you call it is a clutch gene. During his entire career, he's been clutch. And he's the one, when we lost to them on Tuesday night, who hit the go-ahead 3-pointer from like 30 feet away in the final minutes after IU took a brief lead. And he's a player that just seems like he's got a little something extra. And the dude's clutch as hell. And he is the guy who can make the plays down the stretch. Now, you would say after watching the last IU game that maybe Trey Galloway is that now. But we know he's not. We know he can be sometimes, but he's not consistently that. Jackson Shellstad is consistently that. And I think that is going to be the downfall of this game. Now, I may change my mind by the time we get to our preview picks tomorrow, but I don't think so. I think that this has trouble written all over it. What needs to happen here is Indiana's net rating right now is at 52. It's the best it's been all season. The reason it's still that low, even with the 4 quad 1 wins, is you had 3. You had Louisville, Gonzaga, Iowa, Illinois that were just 4 complete ass kickings. Now, if they were to take an ass kicking by Oregon, if they come out and they lose this game 80-66, I think there is a definite chance they're not making the tournament. If they do make the tournament, it'll be as one of the last 4 in, which means they've got to play in Dayton. Because I think what people miss here is, I think if Indiana comes out and loses this game 74-72, I think they're in the tournament. If they lose this game by 10 or more points, there's trouble ahead. I mean, a lot of bad things can happen here. Now, we had good things happen because High Point, who was 29-5, as you said, might have been an at-large if they'd have lost their conference tournament. They won their conference tournament. Drake, what do you think? Did you watch Drake at all against Bradley? Or did anybody out there? Because I can tell you this, their defense was highly impressive. And I know they don't play at an extremely fast pace, but that's a really hard-nosed, well-coached basketball team. And they took a 27-6 Bradley team who was really good and took them to the woodshed and just wore their ass out with the defense. And the fact that Drake won that game helps us because if Bradley would have upset him, that would have taken a spot away. Yeah. But right now, most of the stuff I see is Indiana is the last team in with a bye, which means we would be an 11 seed, probably losing to a 6 in the first round. But it also means that there's only 4 teams in between us and not making the NCAA tournament. So everybody that thinks that this is a done deal because they beat Ohio State, I don't think that's anywhere near true. I think the quad 1 record is 4-12. Now that's 4 quad 1 wins, but it's also 12 quad 1 losses. And out of those 12 losses, a third of them were by more than 20 points.
How many of those quad 1 12 losses are going to the tournament? We know of pretty much all of them.
What are quad 1? So most of them will. You may have a couple of them.
There's probably 6 or 7 of them are Big Ten teams at least.
Well, all of them are. We haven't beaten anybody that was quad 1 out of conference.
No
way. Everybody that was quad 1 out of conference bludgeoned us. And that's what worries me.
That's the 4 wins we have are all conference wins. Our 4 quad 1 wins are all conference wins, right?
Yeah, Michigan State.
So of our 12 quad 1 losses, we lost to Gonzaga, we lost to Louisville. Who did we lose to quad 1 out of the two?
That was it because we only played 2 good teams.
So then we have 10 quad 1 losses. So they're basically saying every team in the Big Ten is a quad 1 team.
No, they're saying half the teams in there. We played some of those teams twice.
Did we lose to anybody twice this year?
We only played Purdue twice that I remember, didn't we?
Is that the only team? No. Is Purdue the only team we played twice?
It might have been. Remember, there's 18 teams now. You really don't have to play people
twice. We played Penn State
Yeah, we played Penn State twice. We beat them twice.
Did we play Michigan twice?
No, we only played them once.
No, I think we played in Chrysler.
Did we?
I thought we did.
How many times do you learn not to say Chrysler because you get all kind of hate mail and stuff?
I don't know. What's it called?
I don't know. University of Michigan campus.
It's Chrysler Arena.
They played in Michigan.
And they played in Bloomington.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't think they played in Michigan, but they did play in Bloomington.
I think they played in Michigan. Look it up.
Why do I have to look up something I know? And it's just because you're inadequate and inept and don't even know who the hell we played this year.
I'm not a computer whiz. I'm 10 years older than you. I'm a computer idiot.
I know it takes a lot to
It does.
Type.
Point and click, baby. Point and click.
It's tough to type. Indiana schedule. Really tough.
Mike, you see, here's why I would be great. In Linus, like Nicole Kidman, I delegate.
Yeah.
you operate.
No, I delegate. I just can't find.
If you watch Linus, you've never seen Nicole Kidman put on a vest and a uniform and go out and shoot people.
I have never seen Lioness, and I don't expect to ever watch a movie.
Oh, then you're missing a good show.
I don't like science fiction.
It's not science fiction.
There ain't no women doing that.
It's political military.
There ain't no women doing that.
You know what I watched?
It's Hollywood basically feminizing America.
You know
trying
what
to
I
tell
watched
them
Saturday night for the first time?
I
I had never seen before. I watched the Da Vinci Code. That is a deep, thought-provoking movie.
Yes, we also played Ohio State twice also.
Okay, so we played Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Thank you, people. I didn't have to look it up. I should have known it. But Michael Houghton says Oregon is a fast athletic team, but maybe playing them at 9 a.m. their time. At 9 a.m. their time and some jet lag will be in our favor. We can't start slow, must play good D and hit our free throws.
Michael, I would think this. I would think Oregon's probably going to be in here on Tuesday at the latest.
I would imagine Oregon's in there today.
They're probably, I would not be surprised if they are flying in today.
I guarantee you, they're probably already there.
Yeah. They're.
And this is the other thing you got to remember. I mean, it's not like it's the first time they've played a game that early this year. And they upset a red-hot Wisconsin team a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think that was like a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock start. I never think home field advantage.
I don't think it's that big of a deal, Mike. I agree with you. It's not. It is a factor. I don't think the fan base will. I don't know if they'll travel or not. I don't know what Oregon's fan base is like.
Oregon's fan base is pretty good. They got some money.
They'll travel.
Phil Neidl says, this is the thing.
Jets.
The way Oregon ran their football program with the chain, with all the jerseys and all the glitz and everything, they created a lot of Midwest Oregon fans and a lot of kids that were 10, 11 years old 20 years ago. There's a lot of Oregon fans everywhere now just because of the way that team was marketed, because it was absolutely genius. But they also had Phil Knight money to do it. Robert Schwartz, we've been saying this all along. IU's out-of-conference schedule stunk this year. Only Power of 4 wins were against Providence and South Carolina, and neither were any good. That is correct.
No, I agree. Yeah, we've talked about that all year long. We think that
while Oregon is beating
the first
Alabama,
thing Indiana better do is shore up its preseason conference, non-conference games.
Yeah,
they better go out and play people, for 2 reasons. 1, get some recognition. 2, get some toughness on the road. And playing against tough teams before they get in the Big Ten season.
Yeah, because if you look at it, Oregon's non-conference schedule, it was much rougher. And by much rougher, I mean a lot harder.
I think Marion College had a tougher preseason schedule than we did.
That was their one preseason game. They played us. Yeah, if you look at Oregon's schedule this year. Oh yeah, by the way, the Creighton team you always rip beat Oregon by 13 in the second round last year. But they started off, they had a couple cupcakes early, and then it got a little bit tougher. And then they traveled, they played Texas A&M. I think that was that was a neutral site game. They upset Alabama, and Alabama's as good as anybody in the country. Mm-hmm. So they had those 2 games. They didn't play a lot out of conference that were really great either. They played Stanford, not a great team.
I tend to agree with Robert Schwartz. Read Robert's comment. I tend to agree with this.
That's what I keep saying.
I know. I think it's wishful thinking. I think the time difference means anything. Hey, I just brought it up because you made it a big thing.
Because I wanted you to bring it up on the show so I could shoot holes in it.
Okay, good. Well, I gave you that opportunity, Daffy Duck.
No, I'm saying this. I'm saying in a normal situation, without a coach like Dana Altman, that can be, if you've got a young coach, and this is the first time he's done it, may make a difference. But Dana Altman is a hell of a basketball coach, and that's the guy I wouldn't mind here. But once again, Steve, I want Ben McCollum.
Did you see that Nike? It's estimated that Nike lost over $120 billion by not signing Steph Curry when they did and letting him go to Under Armour.
It doesn't matter. They made $3 trillion before that with Michael Jordan.
I know they're still making it with Michael. Michael Jordan still gets $400 million a year royalties from Air Jordan.
Yeah, Nike's.
How would you like to have that mailbox money coming to you every month?
Yeah, let's see if LeBron James is still selling. Did they even sell LeBron James?
I don't even think there's a LeBron James shoe, is there?
They call him LB Gaze, I think.
That was a great question. Would you rather have 6 championship rings or 50,000 points?
Well, 6 championship rings.
No doubt.
Who would rather have 50,000 points?
LeBron.
Yeah, but he's also played for like 500 years. He's played longer than Kareem now, I think.
He has.
Because Kareem had to go to college at least, and we all know LeBron probably couldn't read or write to go to college.
LeBron's 22 seasons, I think, isn't he? I got to admire the guy. He looks great. He plays hard. It's just that he decided to take 2 weeks off again now, so he's out for 2 weeks.
Well, he got hurt really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see him get elbowed in the face? I thought he was going to die, Steve.
I know. I love that. What I
missed him by 3 feet.
I saw some college player for Ohio State got knocked down, and he laid on the floor writhing in pain like, okay, get the ambulance.
So this is the thing.
What the hell? We got knocked down. We're bleeding our asses off. We get up, and what do? We go punch the guy for knocking us down.
Yeah.
And
that's because we
yelled at by Coach Knight for getting knocked down.
You know why, though? Because we grew up watching like Dr. J, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson,
choking
Bill
each other to death.
Yeah, we watched guys that played, if you know what I mean.
I watched the Bird Lane Beer fight the other day, and then I watched the Bird Barkley fight. Bird fought with everybody.
Yeah, I went to that game. Robert Schwartz, Oregon was in the Sweet 16 at Louisville a while back. It was 2019. And I believe they lost to, let's see, Virginia, I believe. Yeah, because I only stayed for like half that game because they got handled pretty good. But the game before that was Purdue and Tennessee, and that was one of the best basketball games I've ever seen in person. That was a great game.
All right, let's wrap this.
All right, so what we're going to do is tomorrow, you want to go 12 or 1, Steve?
1.
We're going to go 1 o'clock. We're going to go Big Ten preview show.
No, I have an 8:30 appointment, a doctor's appointment. So
go 1 then?
1. It should be 10. I should be back by 10.
Okay. Do you want to go 1:30?
Yes.
All right. We will go 1:30 tomorrow with our Big Ten basketball preview. We'll break down every game. We're not just going to talk Indiana. We're going to talk about this entire tournament. We would love to hear you guys. You guys can pick the games as we pick them. You can go along with us. We'll see who does the best. And Steve Risley will give you a signed Indiana white sweatshirt that he's got on right now if you could beat him.
It's not white, it's gray. No, you don't get it.
Yeah, I know. But I figured I would try it because we all know that you don't pay off bets anyways. So
you haven't told me what kind of hat you want.
You didn't ask. I mean,
I'm asking.
I want to know what a little midget from Fort Myers won't, pay off.
Just tell me what you want, and I will order it today.
Okay. Well, I could use an IU hat. I just had to pick one out. I don't look that good in red, so you got to watch that.
How about a white one?
No, I don't want your hat. And that's a golf hat, and it's ugly. Only like the 3930 hats. They're the only ones that fit right.
3930.
All right, guys. Tomorrow we'll be here at 1:30 for the Big Ten basketball preview show. We'll preview and predict every game. I like that one, but I don't want yours because it's got all that greasy hair tone.
Never been worn.
Thank you, Robert.
Still has the tags on it.
Yeah.
I don't wear
saw you
hats.
wearing the show one time, and then you took it off because you looked.
Hats mess my hair up.
But all right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back tomorrow at 1:30.
Mike, do hats mess your hair up like they mess my hair up?
No, they don't, Steve. My hair always stays fine. All right, I would go without it, but the glare, makes Risley have to put his glasses on, and he goes blind. Oh, hold on here.
Wait.
We old guys wear our stuff till it's.
I've got my Mike glare hats.
You look like Tom Cruise.
I look like. Oh, yeah, I do, don't I?
Yeah, you look exactly like Tom Cruise. If he just ate peanut butter and was allergic to it because his head would swell up. All right,
Cruise
guys.
Did?
Huh?
Tom Cruise did? He's allergic to peanut butter?
Can anybody here figure out how things go over Steve's head when he's so tall?
I got it. I'm doing other things.
All right, guys. If you want to know what Steve's doing, you should follow him on Twitter at @srisley34.
I don't get on social media anymore.
You should. You're on Facebook. I've seen you before.
No, I don't.
You can follow me at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. We will see you guys tomorrow at 1:30. P-Ball said it sounds like a date. We will see P-Ball and everybody else at 1:30 tomorrow. But for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening